In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming transit of planet Mars. As on November 16th, Mars is going to be transiting in its own sign of Scorpio, and from November 16th till December 27th, it's going to be strengthened in its own sign. So guys, as you know this thing that when we talk about the transit of Mars, it becomes very important because Mars somehow rules our determination, our willpower, our courage. Like right now, the whole world is already facing the brunt of all the global war situation which we are facing, and over and above that, whether we talk about on a mundane level or whether we talk about on our personal level as well, Mars's transit in the Scorpio is always a sensitive and volatile energy. Like the way guys, if I were to say the best placement of the planet Mars, so more than the Mars's own sign, like Mars has got a rulership over the Aries sign and the Scorpio sign, I would say that Mars generally manifests very good results when it is placed in the Leo sign, it is placed in the Sagittarius sign, or it is placed in the Capricorn sign where it attains exaltation. Because guys, whenever Mars is placed in the Aries, it somehow raises the headstrongness, impulsiveness to the extreme, and whenever Mars is placed in the Scorpio, whether in your natal chart or whether in the transit, somehow our tendency to get hurt very easily, our tendency to act with vindictiveness, with revengefulness tend to remain very strong. And like the way guys, during this time, this transit becomes very special because once Mars will transit the sign of Scorpio, it is going to be getting into a mutual aspect with the planet Saturn as well. So because Mars from the Scorpio with its fourth aspect is going to be looking at the Saturn which is right now transiting in the Aquarius, and Saturn will be looking back Mars with its 10th aspect as well. Now what does this represent? So guys, understand this thing in this way that, see, we all know this thing the way in our system as well, the way judiciary works. Like even if a judge has to sentence someone and the minute the justice has been delivered, the policing immediately come into the picture. So the thing over here is that on a positive note, whatsoever you are eyeing, because somehow for our professional development and growth, Saturn becomes very important. And the 10th aspect of the planet Saturn and the 4th aspect of the planet Mars is somehow is a very graceful, is or has got a capacity to manifest some very good results as well. So let's say for example, if you are a kind of person that you have set your goals and all what is needed is right set of drive, determination, right set of thrust in order to move forward towards your goals. So then this transit of Mars is going to be very much fruitful for you. But let's say for example, if in your case, any of the concerns of lawsuit, any of the concerns of where you are at a fault, then this transit can actually create some troubles or problems for you. And also guys, from the global and mundane point of view as well, this is a kind of a typical transit where, because whenever we talk about the dignity of the Saturn and Mars, Saturn always tend to have a upper say as well. So definitely Saturn which represents masses as well. So in the next few days, because before the thing was that somehow people in the power were gaining more strength, but now this is going to be a case that you will not be able to suppress the voice of the collective. This is what the next outcome or sequence of events are going to be turning out, whether we talk about what is happening in the like in the situation of Israel, Palestine. So this is how we can say that now all the global leaders will not be able to suppress the voice of the oppressed ones, that is for sure. So okay guys, now we will shift our discussion customized to all the lagnas, and before that definitely during this time it's not only that the Mars is going to be getting strengthened in the Scorpio, because Sun very soon will also enter the sign of Scorpio as well. Mercury is also going to be spending a lot of time in the Scorpio, so that in itself means that Mars is definitely going to be getting right set of impetus, right set of support during its this stay in the sign of Scorpio. So okay guys, starting first with the Aries rising natives. So guys, in your case definitely Mars becomes your ascendant lord, and for the Aries Lagna natives, you guys are right now going through such a yoga where things can actually take a very sudden and surprising turn for lot many Aries Lagna natives. Specifically in all those cases where unpredictability, suddenness is a part of your line of work. Like let's say for example you deal in the fields of stock market, speculation, anything to do with the artistic and creative pursuit as well. So let's say for example if you have been struggling and you have been undermining your potential or your worth, suddenly grabbing some important project, important tender, important work, so all of that can happen. Because guys, for the Aries natives and definitely for the Libra Lagna natives, somehow it's a part of your own existence that your first house has got a equal level of affinity, or it shares the equal level of camaraderie with the 8th house related attributes as well. So when we talk about like changing the circumstances of your life with some sudden, unpredictable, favorable, positive events, it's a positive transit for you. Anything to do with the insurance, unearned income, or right now you're already going through any of the inheritance related concerns and all, so this could be a very good, a very positive, favorable transit. So again guys, because for the Aries Lagna natives, like your 10th house of your profession, 11th house of your game is being ruled by the planet Saturn, and your ascendant lord, your 8th house, 10th house, 11th house lord forming a kind of a symmetry or relationship through aspect, it's a very good indication. So for the Aries Lagna natives, I can actually give you a go ahead that let's say for example if you are in that stage of the life where you are aspiring for something, you're trying to scale up, you're trying to invest your money, and your running dashas are also running favorable, then my recommendation to Aries Lagna native is that you should take the chance. And also guys, from over here definitely Mars is going to be giving its straight aspect to your second house and eighth aspect to your third house as well. So it hardly matters whether you are in your own business, you are a freelance person, you are a self-employed person. Definitely lot many Aries Lagna natives will be very driven, will be very go-getter, and they will be putting their best efforts in any of the competitive situation. The only thing is that guys, as you know that whenever Mars is transiting from the 8th house, like while driving or while dealing with any sharp edge tools, weapons and all, so you have to be a little bit careful over there. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Taurus Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see that Mars, which becomes your 12th house lord and the 7th house lord, and now it is going to be getting strengthened in your 7th house. So definitely guys, it's a very good combination, specifically pertaining to the matters of your public image, anything to do with your commercial interest and all. As you know this thing that Mars and Saturn, they both are getting mutually aspected by each other, but they both are in such a good state where, let's say for example, if in your line of work you are like looking forward to some new opportunities, get into some new sort of collaboration, any of the foreign overseas interest and all. And definitely guys, because this is a kind of a typical yoga where like it has been generally seen where people accomplish big things and great things, like let's say for example winning political seat, winning some big tenders, being nominated for awards. So that is the kind of yoga which you guys are currently going through. So from your public image point of view, from your commercial interest point of view, this is going to be a very supportive transit of the planet Mars. Guys, when we talk about pertaining to the concerns of the marriage or relationship as well, over there guys, because in your case, see, as much as good of this transit is for your commercial point of view, pertaining to the matters of the relationship, it's a kind of a sensitive energy because Jupiter is already transiting in your 12th house, and over and above that, in lot many cases partner might act very possessive, might be very intense, and might be little bit judgmental as well. So my recommendation to the Taurus Lagna native is that if you're already going through some sort of concerns and issues within your matrimonial life, so it is much better to either take a diplomatic approach or procrastinate any of the sensitive discussion or sensitive matters, because any of the small matter can actually take some very big or worse form. So my recommendation is that when it comes down to your matrimonial concerns, give additional tender care to it. Do not act impulsive, aggressive, or very possessive or judgmental. And if your partner is acting like that, so be very polite and diplomatic. And yes guys, for any of those big goals of yours, like where you're trying to establish yourself, where you're trying to launch yourself, I would say that this is going to be a very harmonious and favorable time for the Taurus Lagna natives. So let's say for example, from the past couple of months, there are certain plans which are going on in your mind, and you have all the relevant resources around you. All what is needed is for you to take that first step. So this is the right time for you to think about taking that. And yes guys, for anything to do with the competitive situation or winning over any lawsuit and all, so the time period seems to be very much favorable for you. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Gemini Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see that Mars is not a very favorable planet for you, and right now in the transit your 6th house is getting very strengthened. So guys, the good part over here is that definitely during this time you are like going through any of the lawsuit related concerns and all. So I would say that this is going to be a very favorable time for you, where you will be able to win over your enemies as well. Second thing is that for any of the concerns of, like I would say that whenever planets get strengthened like this, it is a good energy that if you are like thinking about, or you have to get a loan finalized, or get any money or money on credit from the market, all of that can get materialized. But when it comes down to giving your own money to help someone, or giving your money on credit or on loan to someone, so chances tend to remain very strong that you might not be able to get that money back. So in that area you have to be very careful. Third thing is that guys, in your line of work, you need to act with strong conviction, determination, willpower. Any of the frivolousness in your work ethics might get very strongly punished, because you have to see this thing that Saturn is in a very strengthened state in your 9th house, and Saturn's transit in the 9th house somehow in the 10th house has got more to do with your work ethics, discipline, integrity and all. So that is all what I can say, because I have already mentioned this thing at the beginning of this video, that it's the policing somehow remains very obeisance and very humble and servitude towards the judiciary, towards the judge. So that is the whole concept which is getting applicable in your case as well. Second thing is that guys, from over here now, I have already mentioned this thing that for finding justice in any of the lawsuit related case, and in all those situations where you have been at a receiving end of any unfair treatment, so things can work out in your favor, or people around you will be able to see the true or real picture. From over here guys, Mars is going to be looking at your 12th house as well, and now it is going to be aspecting your 1st house as well. So definitely guys, pertaining to the matters of your health, or your specifically the face or head related portion, you have to be a little bit careful, because definitely your Lagna is being ruled by Mercury, so you are more prone towards the skin related concern. So pertaining to the matters of the health, you have to be careful. Pertaining to the matters of giving your money on some uncredible like resources and connection, giving your money in order to help people and all, you have to be very careful in those concerns. And yes, lastly guys, for winning over any competitive situation and all, this is going to be a very blessed and very positive transit for the Gemini Lagna natives. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Cancer Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, definitely Mars in your case becomes your Yog Karaka planet, and Mars is going to be transiting in your 5th house. So definitely guys, 5th house transit, that too of your Yog Karaka planet, your 10th house Lord's planet, is going to be a harbinger of very good news. Definitely guys, 5th house, which primarily tells about your education, it tells about your religious, spiritual pursuit and all sort of adventurous activities. So definitely if you are like kind of a content creator, you are an influencer, this could be a very good time for you. 5th house also tells about the way our mind function. So Cancer Lagna natives during this time will be very strongly determined. Whatsoever they will set themselves at, it will become a matter of their pride or ego to succeed in all of those endeavors. Second thing is that, guys, beyond doubt, Saturn right now is transiting from your 8th house. It's in a very strengthened state. So because you know this thing that whenever Saturn is transiting from the 8th house, it slows down the negative outcome of the events, of the unpleasing, unpredictable events. So I would say this thing that if during this time Jupiter is already transiting into 10th house, facilitating expansion, growth, more opportunities for you, and with your Yogaraka planet transiting in your 5th house, definitely if you are already in a business which is connected with the 5th house, entertainment, artistic creative fields, anything to do with the children, anything to do with all those businesses where you have to give advice to people. But moreover, guys, because a strengthened 5th house also somehow facilitates all those situations, because being an astrologer, people only comes to us when they are in a crossroad, right? From job to business, one business to another business, thinking about scaling up, expansion. So I would say that if you are in any capacity thinking about venturing out into something new, experiment with something new of which you do not have any past experience, so I would say this thing that if your running dashas are favorable, and right now if you will venture out into some new business enterprise or some new business ideas and all, so circumstances will guide you in the right direction. And definitely, guys, during this time specifically, beyond doubt, Mars being in the Scorpio, that in the 5th house, which is the house of our devotion, our East Devta. So specifically the worship of the ferocious gods, like when we talk about the worship of Lord Hanuman, Lord Kal Bhairava, Goddess Kali, even God Kartike. So worship of the ferocious deities can actually manifest some very good results. And yes, guys, for all those people who are very much driven towards adventure sport and all those activities which gives you adrenaline rush and all, so this is going to be a very good time for that. Yes, and from over here, guys, Mars's 7th aspect and its 8th aspect is also going to be influencing your 11th house and the 12th house. So yes, guys, I'm very much sure that like your friends and people in your circle of influence will also prove to be very helpful towards any of those things which you will trying to be achieved during this time. Moving ahead, guys, now for all the Leo Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see this thing that Mars definitely becomes your Yogaraka planet, and Mars is going to be now entering your 4th house. So guys, as you know this thing that 4th house, which in itself becomes very important when it comes down to public service or construction, real estate related concerns. So I would say this thing that for the Leo Lagna natives, you guys are actually going through some very favorable time for some lifetime investments. Again, guys, for someone like me, a middle class fellow like me, so investing in real estate property is still a dream of lot many people, and this is a very good time to invest in that. Let's say for example, a lot many times people keep on asking me that, okay, I'm operating my business from a rental property and I'm thinking about much money which I give on rent, shall I buy the same property or not? So I would say that for any of those assets and all, so it's a very good time, because that's how we say this thing, right? That if in the right omens and the right muhurta, if you will take decision, it is going to be like rewarding you for a longer span of time. So with your 4th house in such a accentuated state, 7th house being in such a graceful and dignified state, so it's my recommendation that it's a very good time to invest in your craft, invest in your assets, invest in your property and all those things which can give you security. So let's say for example, a lot many times people say this thing that, okay, I'm doing very good even with a nomadic lifestyle, working on my own. If I will hire more people, if I will build up a team, it will be much more harmonious for me. But I don't think so. Is this the right time for me to get all these responsibilities and obligations and all? But I would say that right now is a good time for you. So any of the 4th house related matters, buying property, buying vehicle, investing in all these things, whether for your personal use, whether for your professional use as well, this is going to be a very beneficial time for that. And nothing could be better than that if you're already working in the domain of the Mars or the Saturn or the fourth house. Politics, dairy business, agricultural, farming, organic interest, real estate, property, all of that I mentioned, it's going to be very good time. Also guys, for all those people who are connected with politics and all, and if your running dashas are favorable, this is a typical yoga where people get nominated or they win election. So regarding all that front, the running time period seems to be very much favorable for the Leo Lagna natives. The only thing is that guys, because it is taking place in the fourth house, so just because you know this thing that I am always very biased when it comes down to Mars being in the Scorpio, because it has the potential to trigger out some negative emotions as well. So only if you can keep a hold, keep in command, in control of all those negative emotions of insecurity, toxicity, hurt, betrayal of the past, then I would say this is going to be a very good transit where your determination, conviction, willpower will push you in the right direction. From over here guys, Mars is going to be definitely looking at your, it's like all the good houses. I only have good things to say, because whenever we talk about the profession, our public image, it's the 7th house, 10th house, and the ultimate gain out of that, 11th house comes into picture. And from over here, your Yoga planet being strengthened, expecting all these houses. So again guys, if you're running dashas are favorable, because even your Bhagyasthana is right now is in a very strengthened state. So guys, definitely as you can see that Jupiter is also there in your 9th house. So all aspects seems to be somehow aligned to put you in the right direction. All what is needed is for you to take a chance and do not fall prey to the negative emotions of Mars being in the Scorpio. That is all what I can say for the Leo Lagna natives. Now guys, for all the Virgo Lagna natives, so guys, in your case now definitely Mars is not a very favorable planet for you, and the kind of yoga which Mars is creating right now, it is actually making you very prone towards headstrongness, rage and impulsive actions and all. Because guys, what I'm saying over here is that not only on the basis of Mars being in the 3rd house and not a favorable planet for you, but Ketu is also transiting in your 1st house. Again guys, this is a typical yoga where you know, on small trivial things people fly into rage, get into, you know, fist fight and all these things. So you have to be very careful of the outpour or outburst of your emotions, of aggressions and all of that. Because guys, again, understand this thing, the yoga which is getting formed, if you will act like that, Ketu in the 1st house and Saturn in the 6th house, the repercussion of that will not spare you for long span of time. So you have to be very careful, completely in command and control over your impulses and emotions. I always say this thing guys, that see, the way you can distinguish between your running dasha and the transit is that dasha drive us towards something, transit brings something to us. So I mean to say, even if you are not acting like that, people around you might be provoking you a lot. So you have to be very careful. Second thing is that guys, beyond doubt, if your chart is very graceful, very dignified, everything in complete control and command, this is also a time where you can actually make use of your determination, willpower to create something very substantial as well. Definitely guys, for all those people where there's a lot of muscle is needed, like you know, adventure sports, athletics, and some of those businesses where muscle, pushing around people, bullying people and making use of the force is needed, this could be a very good time for you. And also guys, 3rd house, which also tells about the skill of the hands as well. So again, with your energy of Mars and Scorpio in your 3rd house, if you are a very romantic writer, this is not a transit for you. But if you are a kind of a person who you know, who is a very sensational, who is an advocate of a very sensationalized journalism, you very strongly critic whatever is happening in the world, so I would say that if you are in that category, this could still benefit you if your ongoing dashas are also running favorable. Definitely guys, right now your energy and your power is so strong that no one will be able to defeat you, whether in a combat, whether in a argument or debate. But again, all what comes down to is that whether you are like abiding by the integrity, truth or rightfulness or not. Because With this force, you can actually use it to harm people or do something which is very unrighteous as well. But because Saturn in the 6th and Ketu in the 1st house, the repercussion or the karmic poetic justice of that will also not spare you. So make use of this energy intensity in the right direction. Definitely guys, for all those people who are in sales, media, marketing, there is too much of the travel which is involved in your line of work. So this is going to be a very beneficial time for you. You will be able to close lot many of the deals because of your good negotiation skills, good presentation, convincing skills and all. So you'll be able to close lot many important deals as well. From over here guys, Mars is going to be giving its 7th aspect to your 9th house and 8th aspect to your 10th house. So again guys, this is kind of a typical yoga because I'm saying this thing at this time when I have just arrived after doing my Char Dham Yatra, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, Yamunotri. So definitely it's like long tracks in different rough terrains. All of that is not that easy. So this is the kind of yoga which is getting formed for you. So for taking any of the pilgrimages with any of your wish in the mind, and when I say pilgrimage, so I'm saying that with typical Indian context in mind, where people, if you have to even go to the Vaishno Mata on the Jammu Kashmir side, you have to do a lot of trekking, Kedarnath, Amarnath, they're like those kind of terrains. So any of those, making use of your energy to do something in the name of God, in the name of religion, will definitely prove to be very much rewarding for you during this time. So yes guys, and beyond doubt guys, there is no scarcity of the determination or the flow of energy towards you for anything which you are trying to accomplish. So overall, it's a very sensitive, very explosive transit of Mars for the Virgo Lagna natives, which has got this capability to generate results extremely good or extremely negative. It all comes down to how you utilize this burst of energy. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Libra Lagna natives, I always say this thing, my favorite. So yes guys, for the Libra Lagna natives, Mars in your case has got a rulership over your 7th house and the 2nd house, and Mars is going to be getting strengthened over there. So definitely guys, pertaining to the matters of the commercial gain or financial gains point of view, this is going to be a very good transit for the Libra Lagna natives. Again guys, as you know this thing that whatsoever planet transit to our 2nd house, basis its innate nature, it somehow holds this capacity to give us the financial gains connected with its true innate nature. So I mean to say, if you are by yourself working as a realtor, you are in a construction industry, you are in a you are a doctor, you are a surgeon, you are an engineer and all, or in any capacity, if you're working in the domain of the Mars or if you're working in the domain of the Scorpio, this is going to be a time of some sudden surge of income. Because again guys, this whole Mars and Saturn mutually aspecting each other, and Saturn in your case becomes your Yog Karaka planet. And with the Saturn being in such a strengthened state in the 5th house, and like the way guys I have mentioned this thing before, things were a little bit different because Saturn has entered Aquarius a long time back, but it was retrograde from the past couple of months, and your 7th house was afflicted because of the presence of Rahu over there. But now things are getting much aligned in your favor. And again guys, as you know this thing that 2nd house, which also tells about our determination, our willpower, our virtues. So Libra Lagna natives will be very much driven, and the degree and intensity of conviction to achieve or accomplish things will be very strong during this time. Again guys, Mars is getting strengthened in your 2nd house, so specifically because Mars is your 7th house lord as well, and Jupiter is already transiting in the 7th house. So I would say this thing that specifically in all those cultures and communities where you are looking forward to any matrimonial alliances on a arranged marriage point of view, like let's say for example, for in order to finalize a spouse for you, your family is playing a very important role, then this could be a very good news for you. Second thing is that if you are a kind of person, you are very strict and very rigid, that you only have to find someone within your own community and all, then this could be a very favorable transit for you as well. So overall guys, I'm not saying you guys vulnerable pertaining to the matters of the financial gains, exerting your confidence and putting forth strong determination, conviction, willpower. So overall it's a good transit for the Libra Lagna natives. From over here guys, Mars is also going to be looking at your 8th house as well, and it is going to be aspecting your 9th house as well. So again guys, luck is definitely supporting you, and people in your circle of influence will also prove to be a good source of strength and support as well. So I only have good things to say. Only thing is that guys, Mars getting strengthened in the second house, which also tells about our drinking, eating habits as well. So do not go overboard pertaining to your lifestyle related choices. That is the one thing which I want to say. And yes guys, because whenever second house gets this dignified, so people are very much act very protective towards their family, towards their virtues and values. So overall guys, it's a good transit. Try to make the best use out of it. Moving ahead guys, now for all these Scorpio Lagna natives. So definitely guys, in your case, Mars is your ascendant lord, and now it is getting strengthened in your first house. So overall guys, it's a very good time period for the Scorpio Lagna natives, specifically if in any capacity, we say this thing in Hindi, pad prapti, in any of the capacity, attainment of position, if that is getting applicable in your case, this is going to be a very good supportive transit. Again guys, I always say this thing, that our ongoing dashas takes us towards those things, but transit somehow create those circumstances, and circumstances brings things to us. So the reason why I'm saying this thing, that Ketu, which has recently entered your 11th house, Ketu for the Scorpio Lagna natives is a favorable planet, and Ketu, which is a significator of the flag, and 11th house is the highest point in our chart. In a way, it tells about that, you know, people who have, like, we only have flags hoisted in the vehicles of people who are on the top position and fields. And with Saturn being strengthened in the 4th house, getting mutually aspected by your ascendant lord, 4th house, which also tells about the public, about the royal favor. So overall guys, it's a good time. Let's say for example, if your ongoing dashas are running favorable and you are a strong contender for any political seat, during this time only you're gonna go for contesting any elections, or you are connected with the fields of art, entertainment, media, any of your created project, film, music, album is getting released during this time. So stars will definitely favor you, support you. The only thing is that guys, like the way we always say this thing, that whenever Mars is transiting from the first house, it somehow increases our drive, impulse and energy. And when we talk about the Scorpio, with Scorpio it's a water energy, so it has got more potential of extracting or bringing out the negative emotion as well. So again guys, it all comes down to individual, in which capacity you are going to channelize this surge of energy. Are you gonna use it for devotion, for accomplishment of your dreams, of your goals, or you are just gonna get baffled by the negative emotions of hurt, of vindictiveness, of revenge? So that is the one thing which I want to say, that safeguard yourself from the negative emotions, because Saturn is also transiting in your 4th house. Second thing is that guys, definitely for you, the worship of Lord Hanuman can actually do wonders. So recitation of Hanuman Chalisa, I would say that if you are living in India, feeding or giving jaggery and chapati and like to a cows, if that is possible, you can think about doing that. So all these are the things, specifically worship of Lord Hanuman, recitation of Hanuman Chalisa, Bajrang Baan, Sundarkand becomes very important for the Scorpio Lagna natives during this time. Now guys, from over here, Mars is going to be giving its 4th aspect to your 4th house. So as you know this thing, that for any of the investments in the land, property, businesses and all, this is going to be a very supportive time. And also guys, from over here, Mars is going to be looking at your 7th house and the 8th house as well. So again guys, as you know this thing that during this time specifically, it hardly matters whether you are in a job or you are a business person or not. So definitely during this time, whatsoever changes or transformation you want to bring in your life, whatsoever direction you want to give to your life circumstances will best support you. So that is all what I can say, because again guys, in your case, somehow your ascendant lord has got strong affinity with both the 1st house and the 8th house, and your own ascendant lord aspecting these houses, I would say it's a supportive time for you only. So again guys, for whether even in all those cases where people are going through any of the family related court cases and dispute or property related dispute as well, over there as well, things can work out in your favor. And also guys, for your commercial interest, for the enhanced reputation and all, this is going to be a supportive transit for the Scorpio Lagna natives. Moving ahead guys, now for all these Sagittarius Lagna natives. So guys, in your case, definitely Mars is a very favorable planet for you, and now it is going to be getting strengthened in the 12th house. So again guys, it all comes down to that in which capacity you are utilizing the energy of the 12th house. Any of the interest, overseas interest, any of the import export nature of interest, or anything to do with the secretive clandestine like work and all, like you're working on any of the covert operations and all. So this is going to be a very strengthened time for all those professionals, because again guys, like the way you know this thing that Saturn's transit from the 3rd house is generally considered as the most favorable, and also Ketu is also right now transiting in your 10th house. So I would say that definitely if in your line of work, in your aspirations, 12th house right now plays a very important role, then this could be a game changer transit of the Mars in your 12th house. Second thing is that guys, we cannot overlook this fact that whenever 12th house get accentuated, that too, it's not only the one red flag you have, 12th house, but also the energy of Scorpio also falls in your 12th house. So during this time, if your actions are very questionable, if you are a kind of person who always give room to lot many gossip, lot many people very easily get inimical towards you, so then during this time you have to stay very careful, because hidden enemies might be very strong, might be very powerful. So your own actions you have to monitor very strongly, very carefully. And also guys, because you know this thing that Saturn transiting in the 3rd house is a very good time for taking those initiatives which bring stability in our life. And definitely if all those initiatives are somehow aligned with the foreign investments or overseas interest, then this is going to be a very rewarding time for you. Now guys, from over here, Mars is going to be giving its aspect to your 6th house and to your 7th house as well. So definitely guys, during this time, let's say for example, any of the concerns of like getting your loan approved, or if in your workplace there's a lot of like kind of competitiveness which you are going through, or let's say for example during this time only you are picked up for any of the important very high pressure job and all, so you'll be able to do justice to that job as well. So yes guys, whether you are a freelance person, whether you are a self-employed person, you are in a partnership nature of work, overall the transit of Mars seems to be very favorable. The only one thing which I want to recommend over here is that do not do anything which can trigger or rub people in a wrong way, which can turn people against you. And second thing is that guys, doing charities, donations, and specifically if you are living in India, so feeding chapati and jaggery to the cows becomes very important. Charities becomes very important, because otherwise expenses can suddenly go very high for the Sagittarius Lagna natives. Now guys, for all the Capricorn Lagna natives, so guys, in your case now, as you can see that Mars has got a rulership over your 4th house and the 11th house, and now Mars is going to be getting strengthened in your 11th house. So definitely guys, the kind of yoga which is getting formed where the transiting Mars is forming a connection with your ascendant lord, it's going to be a very good time. Specifically guys, if in your line of work, because a lot many Capricorn Lagna natives end up being on the top position or being in a field of politics, judiciary, or something to do with construction, real estate and all. So if you are already operating in the domain of all these things which I have just mentioned, so definitely Mars getting strengthened in your 11th house of gains, recognition, popularity, accomplishment, this is going to be a time of success for lot many Capricorn Lagna natives. Let's say for example, if you have been eyeing for any guidance, any clarity, so this transit of Mars or its entry in your 11th house will give you the right set of guidance, where right set of people will enter your life and they will guide you in the right direction. Also guys, because in your case Jupiter is already strengthened in your 4th house. Now as you know this thing that even in the original Kalpurush Kundi, Jupiter attains exaltation in the 4th house, with Jupiter right now giving its expansion in the attributes of your 4th house, and the 4th house lord being strengthened in the 11th house. So this is definitely a very good time for investing in real estate, property and all. And also guys, I have already mentioned this thing for all those people who are in any capacity connected with politics or public service. This is going to be a time where if your ongoing dashas are also running favorable, you might be considered for some new role, some new position, if during this time only you have to contest any elections. So things can actually work out in your favor. Now guys, from over here definitely Mars is going to be giving its 4th aspect to your 2nd house as well. So for anything to do with the family business, or all those people who are like in any capacity, they are like freelance, self-employed, so this transit and this aspect of Mars will prove to be very supportive in that regard as well. From over here, Mars is going to be giving its aspect to your 5th house and to your 6th house as well. So specifically for all those people who have to write any competitive exam, like you are a student, you are trying hard to get into a college of your choice, or in order to get good results in any of the competitive situation, this is going to be a very good time period for the Capricorn Lagna natives. And all those guys who are going through any of the lawsuit related concerns, or let's say for example you have been lately facing many competition or toxicity at your workplace, so definitely people now will be able to see your point of view as well. And for all those people who are trying to get any loan approved, any of the getting money on credit and all, so things will work out in your favor. So overall it's a positive or favorable transit for the Capricorn Lagna natives. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Aquarius Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see that your ascendant lord Saturn is already strengthened in your 1st house, and over and above that Mars is now finally going to be entering your 10th house. So again guys, Mars in your case has got a rulership over your 3rd house as well. So whenever Mars gets strengthened in the 10th house, it is a very good time where like people definitely act very competitive. If in any capacity you are already on a top position where there's a lot of power which is concentrated at you, and during this time you have to take any of the important decision, or you are any of the high pressure job where there's a lot of multitasking is needed, or you are in a position where you have to deal with very hot-headed people, very top-notch people. So you will be able to do your job with complete perfection and complete expertise. Also guys, from over here, because as you know this thing that whenever 10th house gets accentuated, many times people get confused that the difference between the 10th house and the 11th house is that 11th house gives us the ultimate eventual result, but 10th house is still the time to work hard. So I would say this thing that if you have been eyeing to be in a new position, in a new role, or you are out of the job, you are applying for a job, so this could be a time where you will get the job, you will be back in the job market. The only concern over here is that bosses might expect a lot from you, and any of the things done wrong by you very quickly, easily agitate people, offend people. And in lot many cases, Aquarius Lagna natives during these times might have to face lot of workplace politics, or lot much of the pressure of pampering ego of their bosses as well. So that is the kind of yoga which is getting formed for the Aquarius Lagna natives. But again guys, for the attainment of position, this is a good time for being able to do your job in a very logical, very analytical way, and demonstrating strong conviction, willpower and all, fearlessness and all. This is going to be a very good transit for the Aquarius Lagna natives, specifically for all those people who are in any of the technical field, mechanical field, engineering field and all, this is going to be a very good transit. Now guys, just because Mars and Saturn are actually making a 4-10 aspect relation in transit with each other. So again, for all those people who have been deprived of justice in any capacity, so this is going to be time when whatsoever you deserve will be served to you, will be delivered to you. Also guys, I have already mentioned this thing for the attainment of position. It's a very good energy which you guys will be going through. From over here, Mars is going to be looking at your 4th house and your 5th house as well. So again guys, during this time, this is kind of a typical yoga that whatsoever development will take place at your professional life or whatsoever development will take place within your society or around you will strongly shape up or influence your mind as well. It will definitely have a strong toll in your deeper inner emotional state or deeper inner psyche as well. So that is all what I can say guys, but overall it's a good, supportive, very success oriented transit of the planet Mars for the Aquarius Lagna natives. And lastly guys, for all the Pisces Lagna natives, so definitely guys, in your case, Mars is a very favorable planet for you, carrying the rulership over your 2nd house, and now in the transit getting strengthened in your 9th house. So definitely guys, during this time, any of the concerns of the 9th house, like let's say for example, in your line of work, like in your line of work, a lot of travels are involved, giving advices, counsel, teaching, training people is involved, or you are working in the fields of writing, publishing, theology, religion in any form. This is going to be a very progressive, very promising time for you guys. Again guys, you have to understand this thing. 9th house is the house of our luck. And basis the nature of the planet, luck supports us. So Mars represents taking initiative. So you cannot be just sitting with your at the comfort of your home or with your hands folded that things will work out on their own. Again, 9th house is the house of luck. Mars represents and Mars rewards people who take action, who take initiative. So if any capacity right now you're thinking about restructuring any of your financial portfolio, or let's say for example you are in your family business only, so specifically for all those people who belong to the finance field, investment banking related field, travel business and all, things will work out in your favor. And definitely guys, because 9th house also tells about our religious pursuit as well. 9th house is also the prime house of pilgrimages as well. So any of the pilgrimages done during this time will actually prove to be very rewarding. And when I say rewarding, specifically pertaining to the matters of your financial inflow, because again guys, Mars is your 2nd house lord transiting in the 9th house, and 2nd house in itself is blessed with the presence of your ascendant lord Jupiter being transiting over there. So overall guys, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable if your running dashas are favorable, and right now your life's aspirations are aligned with the 9th house. Mars is also active in your Mahadasha or Antardasha as well. So luck will definitely push you in the right direction, or rather I would say that your initiatives, your efforts, your endeavors will guide you in the right direction. From over here guys, Mars is definitely going to be aspecting your like 12th house as well, for any of the concerns of immigration related concerns, import export nature of business, getting admission in a foreign university related concerns as well. This is going to be a very supportive, favorable transit for you. From over here, Mars is going to be aspecting your 3rd house and the 4th house as well. So again guys, for anything to do with sales, media, marketing, investing in land, property, real estate, this is going to be a very favorable transit for all the Pisces Lagna natives. Guys, very soon, because in your case Sun very soon is going to be transiting in your 9th house as well. So no matter what happens, you do not have to offend, contradict or get into any fights with your father, with your mentors, with your teachers, or even the father-like figures. That is all what I can say. And definitely guys, 9th house is the house of devotion, religious pursuit as well. So recitation of Hanuman Chalisa, devotion and bhakti towards Lord Hanuman can actually manifest some very good results for all the Pisces Lagna natives. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page.